In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar.
Cause of revelation. It is reported by Ibn Abi Hatim, may Allah have mercy on him, on the authority of Sadi, and by Bayhaqi in Dalil wan Nubuwat, on the authority of Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Hussein, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Arabs used to taunt and revile people who have lost their male issues. They used to refer to such a person as abtar, meaning having no male offspring or no male issue. In keeping with this social evil, when the young son of the Holy Prophet, namely Qasim, passed away, some leaders of Quraysh, especially as Ibn Abdul started taunting the Holy Prophet, telling the people that they no longer need to bother about him, because he had no sons to carry on his name, and that he would be forgotten after his death. He is abtar, that is, his lineage is cut off. On this occasion, the surah was revealed. By Qawi ibn Kathir Majari, according to some narratives, Ka'b ibn Ashraf, a Jew of Medina, came to Makkah, and the Quraysh asked him, "You are the leader of the people. What do you think about this young man who claims that he is better than us in religion, while we are the people who serve the pilgrims, we are the custodians of Kaaba, and supply water to the pilgrims?" He replied, "You are better than him." This surah was revealed on that occasion. Ibn Kathir cites this incident from Baza with an authentic chain of narrators, and Majari says that Muslim also transmitted the incident. According to these narrations, this surah was sent down when the unbelievers of Mecca taunted the Holy Prophet because he had lost all his male issues and called him abtar, or insulted him for some other reason. The present surah gives an answer to the taunts of the unbelievers, and maintains that there is no justification for calling the Holy Prophet an abtar only because he had no male child alive, not only because his lineal offspring will remain till the day of judgment, though from his daughters, but he was destined to be the spiritual father of a multitude of sons in all ages to the end of time, sons who were to be far more faithful, obedient, and loving than the sons of any father, and they will outnumber the followers of all the prophets that came before him. The surah has also dismissed the statement of Ka'b ibn Ashraf, and highlights the great honor and respect given to him by Allah. The river or fountain of Kawthar. Verse Surah Al-Kawthar, Ayah 1. O Prophet, surely we have given you Al-Kawthar, a river in paradise. The word Al-Kawthar literally means abundant goodness. Imam Bukhari, may Allah have mercy on him, has recorded on the authority of Said ibn Jubair, may Allah be pleased with him, that Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said about Al-Kawthar, it is the abundant goodness that Allah gave to him, Holy Prophet. A special pupil of Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, I asked Said ibn Jubair, may Allah be pleased with him, that people claim that it is a river in paradise. Said ibn Jubair, may Allah be pleased with him, reply, that the river in paradise is part of the goodness that Allah gave him. Therefore, Mujahid interprets that it is the abundant goodness of this world, as well as of the next world. This explanation includes the river in paradise and other things as well. The following hadith is recorded in Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawud, and Nasai from Sayyid ibn Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, that he said, may Allah have mercy on him, may Allah have mercy on him. While we were with the Messenger of Allah in the mosque, he went into some kind of slumber or doziness. Then he lifted his head smiling. We asked, O Messenger of Allah, what has caused you to smile? He replied, a surah has just been revealed to me. Then he recited Bismillah and Surah Al-Kawthar. Then he asked, do you know what is Al-Kawthar? We replied, Allah and his Messenger know best. He said, it is a river that my Lord, the Mighty and Majestic, has promised me, and it has abundant goodness. It is a fountain where my Ummah will come on the day of judgment. Fountainers are as numerous as the stars in the sky. Then a servant of Allah from among them will be prevented from it, and I will say, O Lord, verily, he is from my Ummah followers. Then Allah will say, you do not know what he introduced or innovated after you. This is the wording of Muslim. Ibn Kathir, having cited this tradition, writes further, it is reported regarding the description of the fountain on the day of judgment that 2 channels will lead from the sky to supply the fountain with the water of Kawthar. It will have more cups than the stars in the sky. The tradition cited above clarifies many points. It indicates the cause of the revelation of Surah Al-Kawthar. It gives its authentic interpretation, that is, abundant goodness, and that it includes the fountain of Kawthar, which will quench the thirst of the Prophet's followers on the day of judgment. The actual river of Kawthar is in paradise, and the fountain of Kawthar will be on the plain of gathering. 2 channels will flow from the river of paradise into the fountain of gathering, augmenting its supply of water. It reconciles the narratives that tell us that the believers will arrive at the fountain of Kawthar before their entry into paradise. Some people will be turned away from the fountain, because they later on turned away from Islam, or they were not Muslims at all, but expressed their Islam only hypocritically. Their hypocrisy was exposed after the Holy Prophet. Allah knows best. There are traditions that describe the cleanness and sweetness of water of Kawthar, and that its banks are adorned with pearls. These qualities cannot be compared with anything in this world. If the revelation of Surah Al-Kawthar is in response to the taunting of the heathens who called him Abtar because he had lost his sons, as explained earlier, this surah comforts him. They used to say that when he would pass away, there shall be none to take his name on account of having no male offspring, and his activities will cease. This surah tells him that he has been granted Al-Kawthar and completely dismisses the reproach of his enemies, in that his lineage does not stop here in this world, but his spiritual lineage will continue till the day of gathering. His spiritual sons and daughters will outnumber the ummas of the previous prophets. They will also enjoy the greatest respect and honor.
So pray to your Lord and sacrifice to Him alone.
Prayer and sacrifice. Verse Surah Al-Kawthar, Ayah 2. So, offer salah prayer to your Lord and sacrifice. The imperative nahar is derived from nar, which means to sacrifice, by stabbing upwards into the jugular vein the way of slaughter for camels as opposed to other cow. As the Arabs generally used to sacrifice camels, the verse employs the imperative nahar. Occasionally, the word nar is used in the general sense of sacrifice. Verse Surah Al-Kawthar, Ayah 1 vehemently denounces the false notion of the unbelievers and gives glad tidings of Kawthar to the messenger of Allah, in this world as well as in the next world. He will have the abundant goodness in both the worlds immeasurably. The current verse directs the Holy Prophet the way to express his gratitude to Allah on this good tiding, prayer, and sacrifice. Salat is the highest form of physical worship, and sacrifice is highest form of pecuniary or monetary form of worship. Sacrifice in the name of Allah is a fight against idolatry, because the idolaters used to sacrifice in the name of their idols. On that basis, Islamic sacrifice is distinctive and important. On another occasion, the Quran jointly mentions prayer and sacrifice. Thus Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 162. My prayer, my offering, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 162. According to Sayyid Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, Atta, Mujahid, Hassan Basri, and others, the imperative nahar means sacrifice or offer oblation. Some people have attributed to some leading exegetes that they have taken this imperative to mean, fold your hands or arms on the chest. Ibn Kathir holds such narrations as munkar, that is, a narration which is narrated by a weak narrator and contradicts the narration of a stronger and more reliable authority.
Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off.
The enemy of the Prophet is cut off. Verse Surah Al-Kawthar, Ayah 3. Surely, it is your enemy whose traces are cut off. The word shani as used in the original is derived from shan and means one who hates, traducer, insulter. This verse was revealed in connection with the unbelievers who used to taunt the Messenger of Allah and referred to him as Abtar. Most narratives identify the traducer as Ibn Wail. Others identify him as Uqba, and yet others identify him as Kat ibn Ashraf. Allah granted the Messenger of Allah the Kawthar, that is, abundant goodness which includes a multitude of children. How wonderful are the works of Allah! There is no scarcity of lineal children of the Holy Prophet. Furthermore, a prophet is the spiritual father of his entire ummah, which comprises his spiritual children. The Holy Prophet is the spiritual father of his entire ummah till the end of time, and as such will have the largest number of spiritual children compared to the ummas of the previous prophets. In this way, the enemy has been rebutted on the one hand, and on the other hand, their argument has been rebuffed that it is not the Prophet, but his enemies are Abtar or cut off. Note: imagine how Allah has raised the name of the Holy Prophet and exalted his reputation in every nook and corner of the world since the inception of his prophethood till today, and it will continue to be so until the end of time. His blessed name is recited along with Allah's name 5 times a day from the minarets. In the hereafter, he will be granted the Al-Maham Al-Malmad praise station, where he will make the grand intercession on behalf of the entire progeny of Adam. On the contrary, ask the world history, where are the children of Ibn Wail? Where are the children of Kab ibn Ashraf? Where are the children of Uqba? And what happened to their families? Their very own names have been lost to the world. No one cares to remember them. They have become unknown who thought that soon the Holy Prophet will become unknown. They have left this world and the strings of their lineage have been cut off. Their names have been preserved in Islamic traditions only for purposes of interpretation of relevant verses. So, O people of insight, take note. Surah Al-Hashr, Ayah 2.